Thank you so much for checking out this interview I did with Terry Williams, also known as Terry the Trainer on Instagram. Make sure you click below that there's timestamps for questions you want to skip ahead to, pieces of the conversation, maybe that more so interest you than others. Thank you for being here. Like, share, comment if you feel like it will benefit somebody else. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. All right, well, welcome to another episode of Millennials in Ministry. This is episode 38 of Millennials in Ministry. I'm your host, Erin V. Lashley, and today we have on the show Terry Williams, aka Terry the Trainer, who owns a gym facility with his wife. They're about to open up a restaurant. He's a father, he's a husband, director of volunteers at Lakewood Center. He does a lot of really, really cool things, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. So, Terry, thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, no doubt. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you do all of those things so successfully and so well? It just seems like it comes very natural to you. What's the secret for you with that?
Man, I would say I'm still learning in the process. And I think that
Yeah.
that's the most beautiful part of the journey is that anything new you take on, you're learning it as you're doing it.
Mm.
So I don't know if I can really speak so much to how to do things super successfully, but I will say
Yeah.
that I think that a lot of people shy away from doing things. So I'd say do it afraid. Do it even though you
Yeah.
feel a little bit of hesitation, you feel a little bit of fear. If you feel called to do it, you got to go do
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
so there's kind of a little bit of checking the spirit to kind of see if
Hmm.
this is what I want to do and I'm being stubborn, I'm going to beat my head against a brick wall to do it, or if it's something you're genuinely called to do. And if it's something you're called to do, you got to just dive in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. When you say do it afraid, like how do you do it afraid though? Like how do you take that step to just like jump in the water even though you're still afraid? Like is the key having somebody behind you to push you in, or is it a mind thing, a mindset thing?
For me, doing it afraid means doing it without any pressure. Doing it with the admission that you have felt all the hesitation, all the reservations, all of the OMG, what if this doesn't work?
Yeah.
And you've really taken that deeper dive and you felt that confirmation and that conviction of this is definitely something that I'm supposed to do with my life. I was
Mhm.
made to do. Then it's like, okay, God, well, pressure's off of me, right? And so
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it. And then there's also there's a great lyric by one of my favorite artists, KB, and I don't want to butcher it. I won't try to quote it word for word, but he says something to the effect of, um, uh, "Do it for my children." That's ROI that never fails,
Hmm.
and says like, if my businesses go under and my property don't sell, I did it for the King and served my people and my soul as well. You know,
Wow.
I just, and again, I could have totally butchered that lyric, but the point behind it, I remember how that makes me feel when I hear it, and that
Yeah.
resonates with me, and it means something to me. You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah.
doing it afraid means doing it knowing that you're doing it for the right reasons, with clear and proper motives, and it's something that's going to help people. The people that you serve and interact with on a daily basis, the people who become
Mhm.
clients or customers, the
Yeah.
people that are at home with you, your family. And if you're
Hmm.
doing things for the right purpose, it can't fail.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm curious too, like you and your wife work together in so many different things, and I love that about your ministry and your relationship. What are some of your favorite things about your wife, and why is it do you think that you guys work so well together and make a great team in business as well as in life?
Well, you can't catch a touchdown as a wide receiver without a good quarterback. And
Hmm.
I think the same is true in marriage. The same is true in business. It's all about kind of two people working together, sticking to their core competency, playing their position, being in their lane. So
Yeah.
with Ashley and I, we just each have our own lane. She's good at things that I'm terrible at. And I appreciate you saying, oh, hey, this guy's successful at this and that. I would be so not successful at anything having to do with an Excel spreadsheet. Like, forget about it. So
Yeah, I hear that.
Ashley is a logistical mind. She is a type A personality. She has experience in banking prior to us doing this gym thing together. Um, and she's so good at doing the business end of things
Mm,
that basically I can defer to her on choosing the right accountant and
mm,
working with taxes and all
Yeah.
of those kinds of things. Whereas I'm going to program the workouts and hold the off-season training camps for our pro athletes and teach the
Yeah.
classes for our everyday Joes and design some fire t-shirts so we can keep
Hmm.
hot apparel released and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of the secret sauce there is just is teamwork, and it's the two
Yeah.
of us each having very different positions on the team, but playing together as a team for the team to win.
That's awesome. Has she always been really good at that stuff, or is that something she learned and then you had the idea, to open up the restaurant or, start the gym and then you guys just came together? Are these skill sets that you've always had, or did you develop them over time?
I think that she was definitely born for business.
Hmm.
I am a dreamer, visionary, creative. Um, I get more scientific, of course, when it comes to like programming workouts, and that's what I went and did school for and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the work in ministry, that's just more like a heart thing,
Yeah.
But I would say that definitely I was born with a passion for community, connectedness with other people, smiling, bringing people some joy, and finding
Yeah.
fun, creative ways to interact with people. And she was definitely born with a knack for, okay, this is how we get this wheel turning. This is how we
Hmm.
build systems and organize processes, and so then we can have a system. So I basically dream up, it would be really dope to have a big old train. And she's like, okay, here's how we construct that. Here's how we put it on a track. Here's how we raise the funding to make that even possible. Here's the type of
Yeah.
wheels we need to use because they're more affordable than those wheels. And we need to, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think that she had acquired skill set with what she's
Hmm.
good at. I think it's what she's innately good at. I think it's what she was
That's
made
cool.
to do. As far as the gym thing, interesting story. So I was working at a gym as a
Hmm.
personal trainer. I had gotten in without my certification and was working toward my certification. So it was kind of on a probationary period. So I was answering the
Wow.
phones at this public gym and running towel service down to the basement to do laundry and bringing it back to members' lockers and dreaming that one day I'd be able to train people. So I was able to start getting into training and things went really well. So I started doing personal training and teaching classes and that kind of deal. And one day I'm like, man, you know what? I enjoy being in the gym environment, but I want my own gym. But
Yeah.
I thought for me that'd be like 5, 10 years off whenever I figure I know enough to get it started. Actually,
Sure.
on the other hand, being business minded, one day was like, you know what? I'm sick of banking because I feel like I
Hmm.
wake up every morning to go help a bank make more money. This is silly.
Hmm.
This isn't, like she liked
Yeah.
her career and the daily undertakings of it, but wasn't passionate about the exact lane she was in. And I was
Yeah.
experiencing the same thing where I was like, I like working in a gym, but I don't want to use this equipment for these
Yeah.
people and work under this boss. I want to do my thing. And so
Yeah.
together we collectively decided like, let's quit our jobs and go for it. So
Hmm.
that's how it
That's
got
cool.
started.
So talk about what makes the league different from other gyms in the nation. Why are you guys so unique?
Definitely because we stick to our guns on just loving people well. So
Hmm.
we definitely educate people on how to get functional movement into their lives and get onto a solid program and everything. But the thing that has definitely set us apart has been the community. And
Hmm.
people will people will commend us for the community we built, but I'm going to say I just feel blessed that that kind of stuff came to us. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you put in the effort to try to get something going and you want it to be in line with the vision that you had for it initially. But then,
Yeah.
God just shows up and blows your mind sometimes. And yeah, we just have a great community. Like our clients feel a sense of connectedness to each other and they love
Hmm.
each other. So like our Saturday morning classes, for example, are lit. It'll be 2 back-to-back
Yeah.
hype classes. They're not competing with each other, bad mouthing each other, trying to outdo
Yeah.
each other. They're running around high fiving, smiling. And then after they get done with the workout, they're headed out to brunch together too and hanging out.
That's cool.
We've had people come through the league together. Now they're married to each other, having kids. It's insane.
Wow. Wow. So you're basically a dating service as well, kind of.
It's kind of been going that direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I definitely feel like the difference is, and obviously we take a unique approach to it because there's the ministry component as well. The league is not a ministry. The league is just
Hmm.
a gym. But
Yeah.
Ashley and I both having a heart for ministry, obviously we have a heart for people. and we love
Sure.
people. And I think that just anything that we ever touch is going to carry a little bit of that in it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whether it's a
Hmm.
gym or it's a restaurant or it's something else that in the future we end up stepping into a lane of. I think ultimately, with or without the hang cleans, the sprints, the tire flips, the kettlebell swing,
Yeah.
it's going to be, we love you and we're excited that you're here. And we're
Yeah.
going to crank up a turned up playlist and go hard with you because we're happy you're here. Just loving on people.
Yeah. That's cool. You know, one thing about the league that I really like just watching you, I've been following you for a while on Instagram. Zach Wendell, I interviewed not too long ago,
He's
and
a
I saw that
G. I
he was
love that
connected with
guy.
you. Yeah. And so that's how I started following you actually. And I just love your stuff. Like, I love seeing the 5:30 a.m. gym times, you know, you're going around and people are high-fiving each other and doing their circuits and stuff. But I really like the way you collaborate with people and also sports team. I feel like you have such a gift of connecting with people, and you said it that you guys love to love people well. And I want to ask you, when it comes to collaboration, like what is the mindset you have? Because you guys are one gym that's worked with a lot of different major sports teams in the city of Houston, and
Hmm.
that's one thing that sets you guys apart. But how do you collaborate and not make it about you? Because I think like in today's day and age, there's a lot of people that want to connect with brands. You know, I
Hmm.
know you do some stuff for Lululemon,
Yeah.
but it's all about using them as leverage for yourself.
Hmm.
But how do you successfully collaborate with the focus of people and not you in 2019?
Yeah. So, man, I hate that it's going to sound redundant, but I think it all really goes back to loving people well. I feel like
Mhm.
in the beginning stages, when I was younger and just getting started, I definitely wanted to build my brand.
Yeah.
But the terminology I was using at that time was build my empire, you know, and
Yeah.
there's this whole thing of like, carrying myself as if I'm a humble person, but really I'm just out here trying to serve me. You know what I mean? I was trying to grow
Yeah.
like whatever I can do to boost my personal platform is what I was into. And
Yeah.
I was able to work with a couple of athletes and that was cool. But then when it started to really take off and it produced like this effect of like, this athlete knows that athlete is referring him because he liked his experience here for off season and
Mhm.
started to really grow. I started to
Yeah.
really realize like, man, these are more people that I need to really love well. And
Mhm.
working with the whole athlete, I was actually like on a trip with Lululemon last week and speaking to a group of elite athletes and
Wow.
reminding them that like you're incredible at what you perform in doing as a
Yeah.
physical skill set, but I'm not here to speak to that. I'm here to speak to the whole athlete, like you as a person, as a grown man, as a father, as a husband. Like, how do I take
Mhm.
care of you?
Yeah.
It was about 5 years ago when we first started the league that I really switched gears and really started to actually focus on, and this is with the athletes, but also with the everyday Joes, is just,
Mhm.
am I really actually loving this person well? Am I investing in them? Like at the end of my ride, when I'm in a casket, I feel like the value of my life
Yeah.
is directly correlated with the value that I invested into the lives of others, which had a
Yeah.
positive impact on their lives. And when
Yeah.
I got that and that clicked, it was like, you know what? Forget building some booming empire where I train a whole bunch of pro athletes. I'm cool
Yeah.
with training a few that I actually enjoy going deep with.
Mm.
And 99.7% of my clients can be the average, everyday Houstonian who
Yeah.
comes in to train at the gym, or the many
Wow.
folks in the online community that I'm able to just kind of send some home workouts to and create some content
Yeah.
for them to get down on. But really, for people to train with me, it's like, that I actually care.
Mm.
I care. I care about, you having proper form and working hard.
Yeah.
There's not a license to slack, but I
Yeah.
care so much more about how you're actually doing today. What
Yeah.
your goal is. Like your goal ain't really to lose 10 pounds. It's
Right.
it's cute that you want to do that for the summer. But if you got some issues with liking yourself and being okay with some things and
Mhm.
some room for growth, I'm gonna be that one that calls out that greatness I see in you that you don't see in you yet. Because one day I
Wow.
want you to see that greatness in you.
That's powerful because you know what is interesting about what you said is that I think a lot of people they want to build a brand, they want to build their own empire, you know, because they know that that's a great thing to do in 2019. But my mom says it's cute. That is funny what you said. But I think that um gosh, my mom made me lose my train of thought, but I love what you said because, yeah, you want to build a brand, you want to build an empire, but people can sniff out when you're doing it for you
Yeah.
versus when you really do care about them as people.
Authenticity
And
is everything.
yeah, truthfully, and I just applaud you and your wife for what you're doing because you can tell, like over a long period of time, when the message is consistent and when the love for people is consistent, like the fake stuff will weed out over time, but you guys' consistency as you've built what you've built is great, and so I just applaud you guys for that, and thank you for what you're doing for sure. But
Thanks.
I also want to ask you too, just about your involvement with young adults, and
Yeah.
this is a podcast for millennials who want to
Yeah.
make an impact in their community. So I'm curious, all the years that you spent serving young adults, serving millennials, what is a pattern that you see in today's culture that you wish was different? Maybe something that you could speak into, that in order to help millennials in today's culture.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not trying to be funny, but I think it's awesome that now I'm a millennial because when I was a kid, I'm 33 years old, by the way. So when I was a kid, I was told that my generation was Generation Y. We were the ones that came after Generation X, and we were the ones that were asking questions, pushing the envelope, super curious. They would call us Generation Y. But then they just like rezoned this thing and drew new lines. And they're like, oh, if you were born in 1985, you're actually a millennial. But I'm 33, looking at people like on our staff at the gym that are 23, like you're a millennial.
Isn't that crazy?
Not me.
Isn't that crazy?
Anyway, so
I agree with you on that.
from working with young adults in several capacities, most of our staff at the gym being young adults, to the guy that we're working with to do this restaurant, a brilliant dude named Jason Howard. He is, gosh, 30 on the nose. And
Wow.
then also here at Lakewood Church, in the young adults ministry that I've like kind of been a leader in for a long time, I'd say from being around young adults in the lane in which they're hustling, they're trying to grind, they're looking to build something. I do think that one thing that I wish was different in young adult culture, and this is not to blame people, this is to blame societal norms and the weight that they carry. It's going to sound redundant. It's going to sound like something you've heard before, but it's really something I wish people would focus more on. We care way too much about what other people think of us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it started with reality TV becoming a big deal, and then maybe just grew over time as things like Instagram became a thing. But I'll say I can relate and connect with it because, again, 10 years ago, I was in that hamster wheel. I had to be liked and respected. I didn't see success as being happy. I saw success as being considered to be the best in the game. And so that's what I was gunning for with everything in me. Whereas now I'm like, why would I actually posted something recently where a good friend of mine, Megan Harding, had said this at a conference. And I really feel this is true. She said something like, everybody's got to be a brand now. Like you can't even post your mama on your Instagram because she's not on brand. And so everybody's protecting their image so hard. It's like, I shared some content about the trip I took last week to go speak with an incredible group of athletes. I'll share some content on occasion when I'm asked to speak a message at my church or, things like that. But for me, it's not about like, oh, this is a highlight moment. Let me make sure I capture that. I'm gonna also post my family walks. Like me and the boys go for a little walk through the neighborhood, and I'm like, look, man, if you wanted to see like a demo on how to properly do a hang clean today, or you wanted to hear something inspirational, like today ain't that day because I'm out here with my kids, and y'all gonna see this part of my life too, And ironically, people connect more with that. And I don't do that for likes. I don't show off my kid to be like, hey, he's cute, so give me likes. But at the same time, I think that people see vulnerability, people see something candid, people see something real, and they connect with that so much more easily than if I'm just trying to sell something or talk people into something that I want them to perceive me as cool for sharing.
Yeah, that's really good. And you just have so much like wisdom in your mindset. And I appreciate that you're 33. I'm 29, gonna be 30 this year. Dope. And it's just cool to meet people that are like doing stuff and have accomplished as much as you guys have accomplished at your age. It's like, oh, that's like 3 years from now. Like, what can I do like 3 years from now, you know? So just thank you for what you're doing. And I'm curious about your restaurant that's
Yeah.
opening. Like, where is it being built? What inspired, like, what makes this restaurant different? Like, tell us a little bit about it and
Yeah,
when
for
it's
sure.
coming out, when it's opening and stuff like that.
So the restaurant is a little different from how we set up the league. So with the league, Ashley and I own it outright 100%. We founded it. The restaurant, this was a dope idea that was kind of already in the works from other parties. And we were kind of, talking with them, connecting with them over time. And then the opportunity came to join the ownership group, make an investment, retain a piece of equity stake in it. So this was
Very
exciting
cool.
because it's a whole different lane.
Yeah.
So we have like an advisory role, Ashley and myself, helping out with the marketing, making suggestions, helping just kind of as business minds
Mm-hmm.
to run the operations in a way without being super hands-on. So we won't be
Yeah.
in there waiting tables. We're not hiring and firing people.
Okay.
We
Okay.
are basically on the business side of it. It's Jason Howard, a name I mentioned a few minutes ago. He
Mm-hmm.
has a restaurant called Jackson's, which is right on a lakefront,
Okay.
and it's beautiful. And we
Really?
went, and it's a really dope date night vibe. It's not
Yeah.
too artsy fartsy, super fancy, but then it's not too downplayed either. It's a really cool little posh spot. And so he had a vision of taking his thing that's out in the suburbs and bringing it into the city. And so we're doing this restaurant in the River Oaks area. So it's Westheimer at Kirby. It's a pretty poppin' little intersection here in Houston.
Okay.
And we're excited. So we're basically expanding. It's not just a restaurant. It's going to be 5 concepts under one roof. So we're calling it 5 Central.
Wow.
So it'll be a
Wow.
restaurant, but then there'll also be a dinner theater and things like
Wow.
that. So
That's awesome. And when does it open?
pretty soon. Under
Okay.
construction currently.
Okay.
60% of it is done.
Yeah.
A
That's
little
awesome.
under half of it is still being worked on. So for anybody who owns a small business or is looking to start a small business, something you
Uh-huh.
should know. Things take time. Be patient with them. So
Yeah.
when we were getting the league started, 7 times we were denied on a lease. And it took that
Whoa.
8th time to finally sign a lease and get started. Now with this
Wow.
restaurant thing, it's kind of a different story. This
Okay.
is we're more established. The other parties that are involved in the ownership group are more established. Getting a lease
Hmm.
wasn't the issue, but now it's
Hmm.
you're leasing a bigger, better, more elaborate thing in a really
Yeah.
nice area of town, and now you got to
Yeah.
build this thing out. So,
Got it.
like
Very cool.
learning with anything and being patient with anything. But very
Yeah.
soon I'll be able to communicate a launch date as soon as we know.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations for that. And thank you again for joining us and just being a guest on this show. And I think a lot of people were encouraged by you, your wife, your family, what you're doing. If you don't follow Terry, please follow him because he's the real deal. Follow his wife, Ashley, as well. I follow her and their kids are great. Terry, any final words of wisdom as we close out?
I always like to remind people, and I don't know who this is for, but I like to remind people that your goals can't run away from you. Your goals are sitting in one spot on whatever shelf you've put them on. First thing is level up to those goals and understand it's not out of reach. It's not too far over your head. It's not too far away from you. Your goal is wherever you set it. So if you say, I'm going to do it this year, like what if you kind of sort of get close and don't quite get it and you end up in a better spot anyway and can revise your
Yeah.
deadline, right? So get your goals within reach first, but understand this key principle. Your goals cannot run away from you, but you can run full speed toward them. And if you're
Hmm.
committed to doing that, you're eventually going to catch it.
That's so good. Thank you, Terry. So if they want to follow you on Instagram, it's at Terry the Trainer. Any other places that they should be staying in touch with you, your wife, what you
You
guys are up
know,
to?
the main thing is the Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
not super complicated with it. I don't have 5 or 6 different
Okay.
places for you to catch me. I'm easy to
Okay.
find at Terry the Trainer with no punctuation in it, right
Okay.
here on the gram. And we'll have some other really exciting stuff coming really soon that I wish I could
Sweet.
share on. But hey, all that
Okay.
information is going to get kicked through the gram anyway. So if people are connecting with me on the gram, just know that you're not followers, you're family, because that's how I get down. Don't be shy to DM me your fitness questions or your faith questions or even your prayer requests. I know that I'm speaking on millennials in ministry. I know I'm speaking to a community that's like-minded. These are people of faith. So I want y'all to know you can absolutely reach out. But yeah, let's connect. Let's grow together. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Appreciate you, Terry. Thank you so much for your time and have an awesome day.
Appreciate you too. Take care,
I'll see
Aaron.
you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.